This is Habakkuk 2 and 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shakti from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And this scripture was inspired by a video on YouTube. It's called Headlines with a Voice. House passes Biden's $1.9 trillion relief package. Okay, now as this pertains to Habakkuk, brothers have done many lessons about that scripture, especially when you look up the word clay. It doesn't mean like clay as in potter's clay. It actually refers to debt. And as we all know, America is in a huge amount of debt. What's it like 30 some trillion dollars? And I'm sure it's probably more than that, but they're just not saying what it truly is. But nonetheless, all right, with Biden passing this plan, it's further going to exacerbate the problem, and it's going to accelerate the inevitable economic collapse of America. So we'll let this play, and then we'll get some scripture.
At 2 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, the Democratic-led House of Representatives passed the second largest stimulus package, which includes a $15 minimum wage hike. Lawmakers passed the bill by a thin margin, 219 to 212, with two Democrats, Representatives Jared Golden and Kurt Schrader, joining all Republicans in voting against it. The bill's passage comes as more than 10 million Americans have lost their jobs and are struggling to feed their families and keep a roof over their heads. According to Vox, quote, the bill includes some big-ticket items that would deliver important relief to businesses, workers, and the broader economy. It includes $1,400 stimulus checks for those making up to $75,000, $400 expanded weekly unemployment insurance benefits through August 29th, and billions of dollars for schools, state and local governments, and restaurants. It also includes Affordable Care Act subsidies for low and middle income Americans and expands both the child tax credit and earned income tax credit, close quote. The bill also includes a $15 minimum wage hike, despite a recent Senate parliamentarian's ruling that the minimum wage increase cannot be included in the stimulus package. Democrats are using budget reconciliation, which allows passage of some legislation with only 51 votes in the Senate, rather than the 60 if the opposition filibusters. The Democrats have 51 votes if Vice President Harris is asked to vote, which means that Democrats could push Biden's agenda through. However, the parliamentarian's ruling underscores the bill's fragility as it reaches the Senate, where it only takes one Democrat to boom Biden's rescue package. Centralists, like Senator Joe Manchin, have balked at the idea of increasing the minimum wage from $7.25 to $15 an hour. Others, such as the more progressive wing of the party, like Vermont Independent Bernie Sanders, have stood tall on their support to include the bill's $15 minimum wage increase. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain have explicitly stated that the Biden administration would not go against a parliamentarian ruling and use Harris. But given that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi went ahead with the bill, who knows? Pelosi's actions have the optics of a hot potato pass-off to the Senate. Pelosi is making sure that she's removed from any blame if things don't proceed smoothly. It's the Senate Republicans that will be blamed by the mainstream media for Americans not receiving their stimulus checks. This is Nancy Morgan Hart.
And there you have it. Okay. And a big thing that stood out, and it was earlier in the video, she said this thing was passed at 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, outside of healthcare professionals or people who may drive folks to work on a night shift or whatever it is, who's up at 2 o'clock in the morning doing anything, let alone passing a budget that's going to affect the lives of almost 400 million Americans? All right, this just goes to show the craftiness and the subtlety and the deception of this devil. All right. While everybody's asleep, he's plotting and scheming. All right. That's why the scripture says, let me put this on pause and find it. Here it is. This is Psalm 10 and 9. And it says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. All right. Because you have to remember, is as Yahweh Shai said, all right, the devil or Satan is as a lion seeking whom he may devour. Okay. And it says he lieth in wait to catch the poor. All right. And that's what these elite Edomites are. They're like ravenous lions waiting to prey on the weak, the poor, the people who can't defend themselves physically or financially. And it says, he doth catch the poor when he draweth them into his net. And how has he caught the poor? By deceiving them. All right. By putting them to sleep, making them constantly say to themselves, well, if you need help, you can always rely on the government. The government will always be here to help you out. Okay. And many people have fallen for the okie doke. It's as the worldly saying goes, if something's too good to be true, it probably is. Now they're raising it up to $1,400 some dollars, a stimulus check, raising minimum wage to $15. Hey man, that's just on a further collapse the situation. But now we're in a situation where it's too late. All because you got people that rather depend on the government than Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And even for you heathens who is really no hope for, all right, you're wasting your time depending on your government, which is your enemy, rather than yourself. And it says in verse 9, he croucheth and humbleth himself. All right. He speaks real smooth, as the scriptures say, but war was in his heart. He tells you that everything is okay. You vote for me. I'll get us up out of this thing. We're going to unite, bring America together. We can build a better future. Oh, you don't have insurance? Well, you can rely on your government. We'll make sure, as he said, special health care plans for the poverty stricken. You know, he's talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Maybe increasing your public aid, your link, your WIC, Section 8. All these dainties that many of you in America have taken and abused and become, how should we say, lazy. And it says that the poor may fall by his strong ones, because eventually you all are going to realize that this whole time that this devil did not have your good intentions in heart. All right. Even you low-level Edomites are going to soon find out that your kinsmen don't give a crap about you, and all this deception, all these lies that you fell for, they're going to come back and bite you right in the behind. all because you trusted your enemy, your brother. All right. It's as Yahweh Shai said, a man's foes are going to be of their own household. All right. You low level Edomites, you haven't realized yet that your main enemy is you. Your main enemy is you, your own kinsman. From the jump. And this is only the beginning. I guarantee you, Biden has maybe 1 or 2 more times that he can pull a bill like this, and it's a wrap. So that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all were edified. Until the next time, we're going to say shalom.